After a short break, it's time to go racing again. Hello and welcome, my name's Tom and this is the TRAC World Touring Car Championship. This 30-round championship will see us head to 10 different circuits in 6 different countries, starting out in the heart of Europe before heading across the pond to North America. Today we're at the Temple of Speed, Monza, Italy. This 3.6 mile track is the fastest on the calendar, with top speed surpassing 160 miles an hour during these 3 9-lap races that we have today. The cars themselves may look very similar to those we saw in the Team Hard series, but they've all been fettled to be slightly faster and slightly lighter. The Chevrolet Cruze, the Honda Civic, the Audi S3, the BMW 1 Series and the Mercedes A-Class have all been upgraded, and for the first time they're going to be joined by the Audi RS3 LMS. This 400 horsepower beast has to be the perfect car to take for a lap of this fantastic circuit. So heading down the main straight at Monza to start a lap, we're on board with TRAC Joe and the Audi RS3 LMS, the number 17 car. Heading down the main straight, speeds approaching 165 miles an hour. You want to spot your braking point just before the 150 meter board into the first chicane. Hard on the brakes, down into first gear. Try and use as much curb as you can to try and get the best exit you can out of this corner. Now we've got a fast, flat out section as we head towards Curva Grande. You will see the guys in this race go 3, possibly 4 wide through this section of track. It's absolutely flat out. It's a non-corner in these touring cars. They have so much grip. But the next set of corners is really important for lap time. You want to try and maximise your run through here, get the straightest line that you can through this second chicane. So use all the curb in the middle, all the curb on the way out. Be careful of the gravel on the exit. Now into one of my favourite sections of the track. This is the Lesmos. Lesmo 1, down 1 gear into third. Use all the curb in the middle, all the curb on the exit. Run it as wide as you can to maximise your exit. Lesmo 2, you drop in 1 gear as you use all the curb again. Use that green section on your left hand side again to get a better exit as you head down this long, fast straight. This is where the Formula 1 cars get DRS, but in this touring car we've got a 2-litre engine and 400 horsepower to project this down this straight. Under the old circuit, as we head towards Variante Ascari, using the access road on your right hand side to spot your braking point. Again, you want to straight line this corner as much as possible to try and get the best run down the straight as you can. We've only got 1 corner left to go here, but this is one of the most important on the circuit. Variante Parabolica, the final corner, the Parabolica. It's one of the most famous corners on the circuit. It's really easy to try to lose a lot of time here. Use that red section of track on your left hand side to spot your braking. Try and stop the nose of the car from running out too far wide and suckering you off into the barrier. You'll see that happen a couple of times. Now it's fast and flat out down the straight past the podium, so you head under the timing gantry to complete a lap of Monza. Now before we get down to racing, there's a small matter of qualifying. All the drivers had a single lap to try and set their fastest time, so let's see how they're going to line up for race 1. So after the 1-lap shootout, it was TRAC Acctim that lines up on pole position alongside TRAC Sabean in P2. Row 2 is TRAC Kraus and Mad Dingo, P3 and P4. Row 3 is Pronag Racing and TRAC Stug. Row 4 is W810 Tom and Big Ol' Meesh in the Mercedes. 5th is DOR Silverback and TRAC Joey, who provided our onboard lap. Row 6 is TRAC Vicious and Griffus Maximus in P12. Row 7 sees SBV Woody and QRB Danzilla, and rounding out the field in P15 is Andy Herdman in the Audi S3. So the cars are all on the grid, we're ready to go for race number 1. Lights come on, it's all pretty long hold. We're ready to go for another season of racing. Lights go out and away we go. Decent start there by TRAC Acctim from the looks of it. As he heads down towards turn number 1, TRAC Sabean gets a good start, but you've got the Demon Tweet Chevrolet starting to come through. As we head towards turn number 1 for the first time, they've managed to get themselves into the lead. So fantastic start there from TRAC Kraus as we head into turn number 1. Bit of a lock-up. Will we all get through here cleanly? Looks like we pretty much do. Fantastic start there from all the drivers, very well held to stay out of trouble as we head through to Curva Grande for the first time. So it's Kraus that leads, Acctim second. That's Sabean third and W810 Tom in 4th position as we head towards the second chicane for the first time. We've got a bit of a gap now between Acctim and Kraus as you start off, but the Chevrolet has been pretty strong on the straights and the Hondas have been pretty strong through the corners and under braking. As you head through to the Lesmos for the first time, it's Kraus that leads, Acctim second. So we head through Parabolica for the first time of asking. You've got Tom and Stug on the outside. Dingo going down the inside. Like I say, he's be able to have the legs on the two Chevrolets. Those Chevrolets have been pretty swift down the straight. Must be a little bit more aerodynamic than Mercedes, but Dingo's having a look around the outside. Stug's got a double draft on the pair of them. Well, happy 3 wide into the first chicane. That's probably going to end up in tears if they do try it, but it looks like they're going for it. You've got Tom on the outside. Dingo in the middle, Stug on the inside. You head through, no lockups from the trio of them, but just about. Tom holds on. The issue there is their battling has brought meesh into this fight as well. So you've now got a 4-way battle for 4th position as we head through Curva Grande. You've still got the two Mercedes side by side in the back of the shot. Dingo just about holding on. Taking a look at Stug, you see meesh has managed to get past on the inside there as we head through the second chicane. Really important to spot your braking. Now Tom's gone wide, he's ruined the braking. He's going to end up having to go through the escape road. So that's promoted Stug up into 4th position. So as you head down towards Ascari for the second time, you've got Griffus Maximus trying to get into this fight with big old meesh under the old circuit. The Chevrolet just about drawing alongside. He's going to have to go the long way around here. Meesh locks up. You've got Joey and Woody trying to get into this as well. Oh, it's contact. There's a car off after the Mercedes off in towards the barrier, but Meesh has held on. Looking back from Griffus Maximus, you've got Vicious and Joey now going at it as we head down towards Parabolica. The Honda looks pretty good compared to that Audi RS3, so maybe all the power can't be put down towards the ground just yet from that Audi RS3. But it's Vicious that's just in front. You've got Griffus Maximus. Looks like there's a little bit of contact there in the background. You've got the Mercedes trying to get back into this fight. But Griffus is now trying to go around the outside of Vicious. Correction, that's Vicious trying to make a move on the Chevrolets. We head down the main straight. Looks like Vicious has already got that move done, but look at the gap to Meesh in front. All that battling is just allowing that yellow Mercedes to clear off into the distance. Again, they're going to try and go 3 wide into the first chicane. This isn't going to really work. Look at the speed of that Audi as you got the Mercedes throwing it down the inside. That's Woody with a massive lockup. That'll be impressive if he can hold that off. He's still around the outside of Joey. The pair is still fighting as he heads towards Curva Grande, but that looks like Danzilla from the back of the grid has managed to get himself into this fight as well. So fantastic start there from the D2 Mercedes, and that Demon Tweaks Chevrolet is falling down the order. But we're looking at Track Joey now as he's looking to try and make a position up on the Mercedes, trying to go around the outside of the chicane. That'll be brave if he can make that work. But going to the outside has left him vulnerable to Danzilla. Danzilla tried it down the inside. Joey just clips the gravel. That's going to allow the Mercedes to have a run into Lesmo 1. Will he be able to get it done? Not quite. Looks like Griffus Maximus has now gone in front of Danzilla. It's a fantastic move there from the Chevrolet. As we head towards Lesmo 2, the Demon Tweak Chevrolet is trying it down the inside. This will be a good move if he can pull it off. As we head down towards Ascari. It's 2x2 as we head towards the Ascari corner under the old part of the circuit. But it's still Griffus Maximus that's trying to hold on, trying to go around the outside of Joey. Joey gets the place, but Danzilla now has chucked it down the inside of Griffus Maximus. The Mercedes picks up a place. Fantastic driving there as we go on board with QRB Danzilla and the 21 Mercedes. He's got the run so far on the 17 Audi. Really fancy throwing it down the inside of Parabolica. Again, this will be a decent move if he can pull this one off. Hard on the brakes. He's got the move done before the apex, but he's run a little bit wide. That's allowed Joey to come back at him. So this Mercedes and the Audi really well balanced here. The organisers clearly done a decent job of balanced performance with these car builds. So this is the fight over 3rd place now. Stug's managed to get in front of Sabean as we head through Ascari. Sabean's not going to like that. He's going to want to try and get past as quickly as he can. Stug's got a little bit of an interesting line through Ascari. He's not quite got the best run out of it. That's going to allow the Audi RS3 to draw up alongside him as you head down towards Parabolica. Will Sabean fancy throwing it around the outside of the Chevrolet as he heads through the final corner on the lap. It's going to be last of the late breakers. Stug just about hangs on. Contact between the pair of them. The Chevrolet goes sideways, but he still manages to hold on. Fantastic driving there from Stug to hold on in front of Sabean, but Sabean's not done yet. He's now got the slipstream heading down the main straight, the fastest part of the circuit. And he's definitely going to try and throw a dive in towards turn number 1. You've got to think that Audi's going to be throwing it down the inside very, very quickly here as we head towards the braking point. Sabean's not quite far enough. Stug's got a defensive line though, so that's going to slow him up through the chicane. Sabean gets a decent run. He's all over the curb. Looking a little bit further back, you've got Vicious and Woody now going at it with Meesh. A little bit of contact there between the Honda and the Mercedes, but Meesh is still out there in 6th position as the two cars head through Curva Grande. The Honda on the inside, Mercedes on the outside. This is again going to be a last of the late braking move in towards the second of the chicanes. The Mercedes just about has the legs on the Honda, heading in towards the braking zone. Just about clips the grass. Vicious just holds on. That's quite a wide line he's taken there through the second chicane. So this is the fight for the lead between Acctim and Kraus. Acctim has been right on the rear bumper of the Chevrolet for the last lap or so, but now he's really on the rear bumper of the Chevrolet. He's pushing him down the straight. That Honda has decent straight line speed, but he also has the slipstream from the Chevrolet. So will this be a change for the lead? We head down towards the main straight, across the start-finish line to put another lap in the book. Acctim moves out. He's going to try and throw it down the inside of the first chicane. Hard on the brakes. Will he be able to hold him off? Just about. Acctim takes the lead away from Kraus. Kraus has had his leading streak, but that's now been spoiled by TRAC Acctim. Back with this fight, you've got Vicious, you've got Danzilla, and now you've got Woody fighting about it. Danzilla's thrown it down the inside of the pair of them into the first chicane. Awesome move from that Mercedes. He just clips the gravel on the exit though. That's going to allow Vicious to have a run around the outside of Curva Grande. They're going to head too wide through this corner. Hopefully it's going to be a last line braking. Woody has a look at trying to get in on that battle. On board with Danzilla now as they head towards the second chicane. Will he be able to throw it down the outside? Last of the late breakers. A little bit of contact there between the Honda and the Mercedes. Oh, the Mercedes is off. The Honda's off as well. The pair of them have thrown it off at the second chicane. That's allowed Woody through to move up into 7th position. Just see Vicious recovering. There's another car off in the background there. So let's find out what happened to that car off in the background. This is on board with DOR Silverback. Oh, he's just locked it up on the grass. Similar to what happened to Vicious there. So Vicious on a recovery drive now. He's having a crack, at Griffus Maximus in the Chevrolet. Will he be able to get some ground? Lock up from the Chevrolet in front. You just see the tyre smoke. The Chevrolet's gone wide. He's going to throw it over the rumble strips. That can't be a comfortable ride. But first win of the season is going to go the way of TRAC Acctim. He opens his WTCC campaign in the perfect way possible. He's taken a nigh-on lights to flag victory in the Honda. So across the line now, victory for TRAC Acctim in round number 1 of the World Touring Car Championship. Take a look at the full results. TRAC Kraus comes home in 2nd, Stug in 3rd, Sabean 4th. Danzilla, after starting on the back row of the grid, comes home in 5th position. TRAC Joey 6th, SPV Woody 7th. Vicious after that off in 8th, Griffus Maximum 9th, Mad Dingo in 10th after ending up in the barrier at Ascari. 11th is DOR Silverback, 12th is Pronag Racing. So the second race of the night is a partial reverse grid. The random number generator this time drew out number 8. So that means TRAC Vicious has been promoted onto pole position. The drivers also have success ballast to deal with in the form of grit penalties. So the drivers who finished 1st through 9th are going to be, in theory, a little bit slower than they were in that last race. So down to the grid, Vicious on pole, Woody in 2nd, lights come on. Out they go, away we go. Decent start there from the Honda, better start from the Mercedes. He's got a good run. Joey's having a good run off 3rd position as well. He might be able to split the Honda and the Mercedes as they head down towards turn 1 for the first time. Mercedes, though, just has the legs on the Honda, hard on the brakes the entire field. Are we going to get through this one cleanly? No, we're not. The Mercedes spat off towards the outside, contact between Vicious and Woody as they head through the chicane, but it's Woody that comes out on top. Vicious in the Honda is there in 2nd, but you got Danzilla up into 3rd alongside TRAC Joey. Looks like the Honda is about to get swamped by the Audi and the Mercedes as they head in towards Curva Grande. Oh, the Mercedes is off, Danzilla's off. He's now on a fight back as they head towards the second chicane. Hard on the brakes. Oh, Woody's messed the braking up. Woody's off and he's through the escape route. Vicious is up into the lead. So Vicious leads. Joey hasn't let Vicious get away during this lap. He's towing up that Honda, heading down the inside of the first chicane. Only 1 lap in and Joey has taken the lead away from Vicious. Stug's looking to get a piece of that Honda as well, so the Chevrolet makes contact with the back of Vicious. You got a car off in the background. That looks like it was TRAC Sabean recovering. He's been swamped by the pair of Demon Tweet Chevrolets as well. And now So 3 Chevrolets running in a line. You've got Stug, you've got Kraus and Griffus, Maximus, Sabean down the inside, throwing it over the curb. He's got Acctim there for company. We're on board with Woody, who's now recovering from his off in the chicane. 3 wide, heading towards Parabolica. 3 really fast cars. It looks like the Audi's just about got the run. Acctim drops back into the slipstreams. They head through Parabolica. Actim's off and wide. So is Sabean. That's going to allow the second Demon Tweak Chevrolet through. Sabean's just about holding on. Will he be able to hold off that run from Griffus Maximus in the Chevrolet? He's also got Woody to think about in the Mercedes. They're going 3 wide down the straight in towards turn number 1. Will he be able to hold it on? Stug and Acctim trying to get into this battle as well. We're going on board with one of the Chevrolets. Down the inside goes Sabean. He just about holds off one of the Chevrolets, but he's lost out to Woody and he's lost out to Kraus as well as contact behind. Sees the Chevrolet spat out towards the distance. We're looking at Silverback. Tom's just gone around the outside of the lot of them. And so from the back of the grid, WA10 Tom's had a solid run so far in that Carspunk Chevrolet. But heading down now towards the second chicane, you've got Griffus Maximus behind him in the Demon Tweak Chevrolet. Lock up from the Demon Tweaks car. He's thrown it down the inside. That stamp has been well and truly sent. Oh, off he goes. Contact with Acctim, and Silverback has put the Chevrolet off into the barrier. You see Silverback pulling off towards the side as well. So this is the battle for the lead. Vicious versus Joey. Vicious is using all the track and then a little bit more as they run down towards Ascari, trying to get the lead back from Joey that he lost on the opening of lap number 2. But that Audi's just a little bit better on the brakes compared to the Honda. Vicious using a lot of curb there to try and catch up. He's using all of the curb on the exit. Oh, he's just clipped the gravel. That's going to give Joey a bit of a gap there. So looking at Woody now, trying to get himself on the back of Kraus in the second of the Demon Tweak Chevrolets as they head in towards the second of the 2 chicanes here at Monza. A little bit of a lock up there. He's into the back of Kraus in the Chevrolet. He runs it over the curb, but just about hangs on. But he's now got a bigger gap behind to Stug. As you've got Sabean and Tom going at it there, heading through Lesmo 1. You've also got Dingo trying to get in on that fight as well. The Chevrolet's just about got him, but down the inside, throwing it at Lesmo 2. Will he be able to get that move? No, he's not. He's clipped the gravel. That's going to... So heading down the main straight, Dingo versus Sabean. Sabean just about backs out of that. Thinks discretion is the better part of valor, but gets into the back of the Mercedes. So as they head out towards Curva Grande, you've still got Kraus at the front of this field, but he's got Woody and Dingo right in behind him. Sabean now trying to have a crack around the inside of the Mercedes as they head towards Curva Grande on Dingo. So Sabean versus Dingo as he head towards the second of the chicanes. Is the Audi going to dive out towards the inside of the chicane? No, he's not. But you've got Kraus now runs a little bit wide. He's over the curve, wheel spin. So Dingo versus Woody as he head down towards Parabolica. Both of these cars pretty evenly matched. The pair of Mercedes hard on the brakes there for the pair of them. You've got contact between Kraus and one of the Mercedes there. Looks like it was Woody that made contact with the back of him, but he's managed to get through. So Sabean now has a run on Kraus. They head down towards the start-finish line. It's just Kraus who gets in front of the Audi. It's a drag race between the pair of them over the line as towards the first chicane. Again, this is going to be last of the late breakers. Sabean just draws in front, harder on the brakes. So it's the Chevrolet. He's going to go around the outside. Fantastic move. Oh, you've got Woody in the barriers. You've got one of the Mercedes in the barriers. But that is Kraus that's come out on top in that little battle. As they head towards Curva Grande again, you've got the Carspunk Chevrolet on the inside of the Mercedes, and they're both catching up to Sabean behind. But we're looking at Kraus. Now we're looking at Sabean. He's just about got the Carspunk Chevrolet behind him, closing up under brakes. Will there be contact between the pair of them? Chevrolet locks up. That's allowed the Mercedes around the outside. Sabean's having a crack on Kraus. The pair have run out towards the outside. That's going to allow the Chevrolet through on the pair of them. Sabean's down 2 positions. So now Dingo's going to go down the inside of Kraus into Lesmo 2. Will he be able to get that move off? Ah, the door's just about closed. Down towards Variante Ascari. We're looking at Dingo. He's down in position compared to WA10 Tom. The pair have got a draft though of Kraus in front. They're too wide heading down towards the chicane at Ascari. The Mercedes holds it around the outside, cuts to the inside to try and get a move on Kraus. They head towards over the curbs. He tries to get that move, doesn't quite get it. He's locked in the draft. The Chevrolet's got a really good run. He's down the outside of him, heading towards Parabolica. They are absolutely nose to tail. Dingo's going to throw it down the inside of Parabolica. He just gets the car stopped. Will he run out wide? No, he won't, but he's now locked on the rear bumper of Kraus. You've got Kraus, Dingo, Tom running together. Tom moves towards the outside to try and get past Dingo down the inside as they head towards the chicane once again. Kraus just about gets across the line first, but he's got another lap to try and weather the storm from the Mercedes and the Chevrolet behind. Down the inside goes Dingo. Kraus brakes really late, moves over to cover. Locker from the Chevrolet behind. A little bit of contact there between Sabean and Tom, but Kraus is just holding on. He's soaking up the pressure here. Heading in towards the second chicane. You've got contact between Tom and Dingo in the back now. Tom's binned it. He's bowled it through the chicane. So that now makes the 4-car fight a 3-car fight as the Chevrolet pops back out behind. So Dingo now on the inside of Kraus, heading through Ascari. Doesn't get the move done once again. Just about holds on. Sabean's going to try and fancy move into Parabolica. This, I believe, is the final lap. Sabean round the outside of Parabolica. That's a brave move. He can try it. Contact there between the Chevrolet and the Mercedes. Sabean's through on the inside. Kraus and Dingo have run out wide. That's allowed Sabean to get through. Unchallenged though, taking the win is Track Joey in front. 2 races so far, 2 different winners, 2 different cars taking the top spots. So that's victory for Track Joey. Vicious is going to come home in second. But we're going to take a look at the full results now. So Track Joey with the win, Vicious second, Stug in third, Sabean managed to come home fourth. After that off between Dingo and Kraus. Tom in 7th, Woody 8th, Big Ol' Meesh 9th, Track Acctim 10th, Griffus Maximum 11th, and 12th is THORS Silverback. So what better way to finish off a night's racing than with a full reverse grid. That's going to put Pronag Racing on pole position with THORS Silverback in second. If race 2 is anything to go by, I'm not going to have a voice by the end of this one. So for the final time tonight, we're down on the grid, waiting for the start. Lights come on, out they go. It's a really slow start. We've got a staller on the grid. That's Silverback who's not got away. Pronag's really slow away. The WA10 Tom has come through the lot of them. So from around about 7th or 8th on the grid, he's through to second place. But it's Griffus Maximus in the Chevrolet that leads in the opening stages. Contact further back. This is what we expected with the reverse grid. It's going to be action-packed from the start. But it's a Chevrolet 1, 2, 3. Demon Tweaks from Carspunk from Demon Tweaks. Acctim's there in 4th place. Looks like you've got Woody and Meesh in that fight as well. But it is Griffus Maximus who leads the way here for race number 3 of the World Touring Car Championship. Heading into the second chicane for the first time. We've got the Chevrolet of Tom getting really close for company there as the field files through the chicane. Back for the first time of Askin. Chevrolet 1, 2, 3, Acctim 4. So heading down towards Variante Ascari for the first time of Askin. You've got the 3 cars really close together. There's contact between the 3 of them. Tom's off. The Demon Tweaks car's off as well. You've got Acctim waiting up to try and let him go. Oh, Vicious has been spat out towards the gravel as well. Looks like contact there with Sabean. Let's take a look at a replay here. This is Woody going for a dive on Meesh. He's not made that corner there. Hence why he's off in the gravel, losing quite a few places. Heading into Parabolica now. You've got Acctim, Meesh, Danzilla's up there as well. You've got Kraus trying to get into this fight. You've got Dingo and Stug as well. Heading down towards the first corner, down the main straight. All the cars tucked in the draft. That Chevrolet though, it looks like he's got the legs on the pair of them. Meesh moves out to go for a move on Acctim, heading down in towards the first chicane. We're on board with Danzilla behind them. Meesh having a look. Danzilla's going to go down the pair of them through the middle. Fantastic move. Danzilla moves up into second place with an awesome move down the middle of Meesh. Now Meesh has Kraus to deal with as he head towards Curva Grande. You've got Dingo and Stug trying to get into this battle as well. It's very nearly 4 wide as they head through Curva Grande. But look, you've got Danzilla and Acctim have already got a bit of a gap over this gaggle of 4 cars. Meesh is going to try around the outside of Kraus, heading in towards the second chicane. Doesn't quite get the car under brake in there. Kraus just about hangs on. Acctim kicks up the gravel there. That's allowed Danzilla to get a gap and dropped Acctim back into the clutches of Kraus. Take a look at Stug. You got a little bit of smoke at the front. That looks like Dingo that's lost out there. So Stug has now got a position back on Dingo as he heads down towards Ascari. Under the old circuit, you've got the 2 Mercedes and the Honda going at it. Contact between the 2 of them. Oh, he's lost it again. The Silverback's lost it. The Tizer car's off in the gravel. But you've got Dingo and Woody trying to get back past Stug as they head down towards Parabolica. So now you've got Vicious on a recovery drive. His first target is TRAC Sabean. Heading through Lesmo 2. He's on the hunt. He's trying to get back past. Oh, Sabean's dropped it on the gravel. Vicious now has a run heading down towards Ascari. That Honda has been pretty good down the straights, especially when the Audis haven't been getting a decent run out the corner. Under the old circuit, Vicious already has the move done on Sabean. These two battling, that could bring Pronag into this fight as well, the pole sitter. He's dropped down the order, but he's looking now to try and make some positions back up. Pronag gets a really good run through the Ascari chicane. Vicious and Sabean are doing battle heading down the main straight. Down towards Parabolica. Pronag's now having a look down the inside of Vicious. Sabean already has the move done. Pronag's going to throw it down the inside of the Parabolica on the Honda. Last of the late break as Pronag chucks it down the inside of the pair of them. He's run a little bit wide though. He's just about got past Sabean. But Sabean's got a decent run out of Parabolica. The 2 Audis are neck and neck. These cars are pretty much identical. The only difference is setup. Vicious and Pronag now going at it. Vicious trying to get the position back that he lost to Pronag a lap ago. Heading through the Lesmo. Oh, Vicious has dropped it in the gravel. Vicious is off. That's going to give Pronag some breathing room and allow him to try and have a crack at Sabean now. So Danzilla versus Griffus Maximus for the lead. Danzilla's loved this move into the first chicane. He's down the inside, hard on the brakes. That Mercedes is perfectly set up for the heavy braking zones around this track. And Danzilla takes the lead away from Griffus Maximus in the Chevrolet. The third different brand to reach the front of the field is the Mercedes. Acctim now fancies a move for second place on Griffus Maximus in the Demon Tweed Chevrolet as they head down towards Parabolica. The Honda has him in his sights. Will the Honda be able to go for a second win? He needs to take this Chevrolet first around the outside of Parabolica. That Honda's got ridiculous grip compared to the Chevrolet, but that is now Acctim up into second place. Will he be able to go on and maybe take a second victory of the day? So Meesh now versus Kraus. Meesh gets a little bit of a slide. That's going to bring the Chevrolet into this fight. You've also got one of the Mercedes trying to get into this as well behind. The rear end of Meesh's Mercedes doesn't look quite as planted as the Chevrolet. The Chevrolet goes down the inside. Kraus fancies a move into Lesmo too. He's already got the move done. So decent move there from Kraus to take the position of Meesh and move him up the order. But now Meesh has the run down towards Ascari, so he's going to have the draft on the Chevrolet. Will he fancy a move down the inside of Ascari? He shows the nose. Will he be able to go for it? Not quite. Mercedes locks up. That's going to leave him vulnerable to Dingo. That looks like he's gotten himself back into this fight. So Dingo now on the back of Meesh in the Mercedes. As you head down towards Parabolica, Meesh will still have the tow from the Chevrolet in front, but the Mercedes behind of Dingo is going to have a double tow as he head down towards Parabolica. Meesh is having a look down the inside of Kraus in the Chevrolet. Just about gets the move done. He's going to run a little bit wide. Will that allow Kraus to come back and try and cover him? No, it doesn't. But that's going to allow Dingo down the inside of Kraus. This fight is probably going to go down to the last lap, maybe even down to the last corner. These guys are totally inseparable. As he head down towards the start-finish line, Meesh is still in front. Kraus is getting back in front of Dingo. Be careful, Woody might get into this fight as well. Meesh now has a bit of a gap. That Chevrolet's fantastic on the brakes, but he locks up. He's all sorts of sideways. There's contact between the pair of them. That's going to allow Woody through past Dingo and It's also going to allow Stug past as well. So Stug wasn't in this fight before. He really is now. He's got himself past Kraus in the 46 car. As he heads towards Curva Grande, Kraus is going to lock himself into the slipstream of the cars in front. Try and keep himself on the back of this train. The moment you get off the back of the pack, you end up losing a lot of time. Stug's going to throw it down the inside of Dingo here as well. You see the Tizer car's done its day in the barrier, but Stug has managed to get himself through. So Stug now defending from Dingo. Dingo has a little bit of a bump and run coming through the Parabolica. Stug's gone wide. Dingo's got the better run through there. You see Woody's managed to get himself past both of these guys already. So these guys fighting, not really helping their course to try and get on the back of the two Mercedes in front that are fighting it out. Now you've got Stug and Dingo going at it. Be careful, Kraus and Sabean isn't that far behind as well. The two are heading into the first chicane side by side. Dingo just about has Stug covered, but we know the Chevrolets are really good under brakes. Stug can't get the cut back there, and Dingo manages to hold on for another day. But you can see in front, looks like Woody and meesh are starting to go at it there. Stug's going to try around the outside of Curva Grande. This is going to be a decent move if he can pull that off. The Chevrolet has oodles of grip through there, and he's around the outside and has the move completed before they get into the second chicane. So that's Stug up a position compared to Dingo, and you've got meesh and Woody have gone at it. There's a swap of position up there in front. Stug doesn't get quite as good a run as he could have out of there. That's going to allow Dingo to have a crack down the inside of the Lesmo 1, but he doesn't quite have the pace to get past Stug. The rear end on the Mercedes doesn't look planted at all. He's got a little bit of a slide on. Stug's now got a little bit of breathing room, as you can see that Kraus and Sabean are going at it now. So now we're going on board with Woody to see how he managed to get that move done on meesh. You see they're heading down towards the second chicane. Woody in the Mercedes just about has the legs under braking, gets himself turned in, claims the corner, uses all the curb to get a decent exit. So Danzilla versus Acctim. This is the fight for the lead. There's only a couple of corners left to go in this race. This is going to go down to the absolute wire between the pair of them. Acctim gets a little bit of a slide through the Ascari corner. Danzilla just about has a gap heading towards Parabolica. Acctim's going to have a real Max Verstappen-esque dive bomb down the inside if he does fancy getting the lead off Danzilla as he head through the final corner through Parabolica. Danzilla gets a decent little run through there, gets the power down. He looks like he's home and dry. He's just about going to hang on. It's 3 different winners, 3 different manufacturers in 3 different races. Danzilla comes across the line to seal the win for round number 3 of the World Touring Car Championship. Acctim has to settle for second. This is the fight further back though. You've got Dingo, Stug and Kraus. They're fighting for position here. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to get it? No one knows. Stug and Kraus are side by side. Sabean's getting in the draft there. Let's see who's going to come across the line. Stug just gets it. Fantastic drive from Stug off the final corner there to get himself up a position. Let's take a look at the final results though. QRB Danzilla takes the 3rd win of the night. TRAC Acctim in 2nd. Griffus Maximus holds on for 3rd place. SBB Woody 4th. Big Ol' Meesh 5th. TRAC Stug after that drag race to the line seals 6th position. TRAC Kraus in 7th. Sabean 8th. Mad Dingo in 9th. W810 Tom finishes in 10th. TRAC Vicious 11th. And Pronag Racing finishes the day off in 12th. So after 3 action-packed races, let's see how the championship shapes up. TRAC Acctim holds the lead. TRAC Stug in 2nd, just 2 points separate them at the top. TRAC Kraus in 3rd, Sabean 4th, Woody 5th, and Vicious 6th. Just 1 point separates 5th and 6th there. 128 versus 127. 7th place is Griffus Maximus. He gets a whole lot closer for the fight for 7th place. Just 1 point separates Griffus Maximus and Mad Dingo. Big Ol' Meesh in 9th place. W810 Tom in 10th. And a little bit of a gap back to DOR Silverback, but just 1 point separates Silverback and Pronag Racing. So the next time that we'll see the AM drivers will be in Hockenheim, Germany for round number 2. We've already had 3 different winners from the first 3 races. Will we keep that record up? Who knows? Coming up next we have the pro drivers, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out.